All right, welcome to a little experiment here. I tried something along this line previously on my scraps video, but I wanted to really investigate it further, or not investigate, I guess develop it if possible here, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm taking some white pigment ink on a piece of matte black cardstock, and I just love the real gestural types of touches that we can achieve on this paper, but we want to see if we can, incorporate this type of look into a scene, of course, not just do these and that's it, so it didn't quite work with what I was stamping over the top of this, though, okay? So what this is supposed to represent is maybe some clouds in the sky or something like that. Just something kind of a gestural, hand-done background, okay? Let's see where this goes here, okay? This was one of those things in stamping. It would be nice if we can incorporate something of a very gestural, kind of personalized touch into stamping. Naturally, we can do that with various different types of media, but this is kind of along the lines of almost like, a signature or something like that. Everyone has like a different signature. That's why they have like handwriting analysis or something like that. They can kind of, I don't know, maybe tell something of the personality of the person applying this. And this is going to be, of course, kind of something in the extreme. Okay, but I'm trying to go with this little S-curve type of motion right here. I'm getting a little bit clunky down here, but we can apply, as I found in that previous, I don't know, whatever inaugural test of this look here or process is that you can apply black right back over it and to blend those clunkier areas out. All right, so this is just going to be a lot of white in the background, and then there's going to be some trees somewhere. Now you can kind of figure out where they're going to go, after you apply this. Sometimes top and bottom, take on a different, I don't know, kind of look after you've applied it, and you might think later on, oh, now this way looks better, this was its top and bottom or something like that, okay? So we'll see how this one goes. All right, so I'm kind of putting my fingernail down so I can get some smaller types of applications in there as well as the flat one like that, okay? I think it'll kind of reiterate this whole idea of this kind of movement, like wind or something of that sort. All right, so that is that. So I'm getting real clunky, like I said, where I started off like that. Maybe I should always start it on the side of the page or something like that, or apply different pressures at different points and not have it, so hard with the initial contact. But figuring it out, this is just, my second time doing this. I might have done things like this in the past. I don't remember. If I did, I didn't really incorporate it into some sort of technique or whatnot. Okay, so on the initial, the first piece that I did, or that I tried, I stamped over the top of this in black, okay, with black trees, and it just didn't really work out very well. The trees really, they were the color of the paper, and there wasn't enough contrast in the white, so they just didn't stand out very much. They didn't stand at all. They really kind of merged with the background, which I thought would look cool in certain types of situations, but not the situation that I was creating. It was all, the thing that was happening was, it was like ultra subtle. I mean, you can barely see the trees, which wasn't really kind of my idea after I achieved the background. So I thought, we need to figure this out. Maybe you go light on dark instead, and of course that would show up much more prominently. So I have some silver and white here that I can try the trees in, and I'm thinking probably both. I mean, we might be able to use black in here as kind of some background imagery, but let's see how this goes here. Okay, so I went with the black there, and now that doesn't look quite as good to me, so we're going back with white. So you can just kind of play around with these things. Don't just have things in a kind of a linear process. Okay, we're adding this and then this, and kind of swapping one medium out for another. Play around with it a little bit, and you can go back and forth. Especially with this type of kind of thicker medium here, okay? You can apply things over the top of one another. And it's mixing, it's a little bit gray-ish now, but still it's lighter than that background. Okay. All right. So that is that, I think. All right, so that it's a subtle surface, kind of subtle. I mean, I guess it's not too subtle, but let's try to layer in some trees in here. Okay, now, all right. Here's the thing too. I want to add in some. We'll go with some stars in the background. If I add some of this splatter painting over everything, that would be snow, which would look kind of cool too. But let's just go with this texture in the background, okay? We definitely need more contrast in here and texture, I think, and depth. So this is a really easy way to achieve that, at least one type of look. It'd be kind of cool if I used silver on here. If I had some silver paint, that would have been cool too, but I don't, so let's just go with this. Or do I have some silver? Yeah, I have some of those iridescent inks. I wonder if those would work. Okay, so going in for a little bit of this splatter, or a lot of it maybe. Let's put it down at the base too. All right, so quite a bit of texture. Splatter painting can be a really good friend in scenic stamping, believe me. It adds in like instant, I don't know, contrast and light into whatever area you want it to go. All right, so let's see here. Let's go with a thick Brilliance ink. Looking for my re-inker on this, if I have one. I have it somewhere. Here we go. Graphite, yeah. We'll want to get some pretty good impressions with this. Oh boy. It's a very thick ink. Pigment inks in general. All right. Inking up. I have some foamy stamps too, some large versions of foamies. Maybe I should use some of those. This is like a half-page piece of cardstock. Okay, so getting some reverse impressions in here. I mean, it's a positive impression, but it's like going back black over white that's over black. So it's almost like you're getting a reverse impression in here because that black is going to be the same color as that the black of the paper. So it's almost like doing a reverse impression. Actually, this one's not looking too bad, but these do dry much lighter. See, that's already dry right there, and you can barely see it. That's what didn't work for me. It might work on a glossy, where these impressions here look a lot more prominent in terms of just standing out from the background. But when they're really kind of they dry matte looking over this matte paper. This is right there. See how they're kind of muting out. There, you can almost see through them too, or you can see through it. There's a lot of reflection coming off. You know, Brilliance White has that kind of, iridescent type of glow to it. So, it has that little bit of shimmer to it, so it does catch the light a little bit. Nothing in the extreme. All right, so that is that. Now, let's see. Let's go in here with some additional impressions. We can use the spruce again, but I think I'll go with something a little bit more spindly in here just for, a little bit of textural contrast. So my trees are providing kind of a foundation for some additional impressions right over the top. And I'll try this in white here. And maybe we'll go with some silver too. I think that could be interesting to, if I could figure out a way to incorporate the silver in here. And I'm not sure if the silver should go first or if it should go second. I have a feeling that the silver would stand out over the white with no problem, but maybe if I put white over the top of silver, I think that silver would just show right through. So I think the sequencing should be white and then silver if I do use it. And like I said, the Brilliance White is a little bit iridescent, so it does have that little kind of metallic aspect to it. Okay, so this is going to be the part where I kind of depart from my previous experiment and go in with, I guess this is a true kind of negative or reverse out impression when you're doing something in white. The black just looked reverse out over the white, but we're putting white over this entire thing here, so. All right, it's not standing out too much. It's still fairly subtle, which, I don't know, could be good. We'll see. I have a feeling it's going to dry. It's not going to stand out as white as it looks right now, not that it looks like super white. But I don't know. I think it looks pretty good right now. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to give a semi kind of varied impression grouping with these. Okay, so you take this tree here. I'm talking about composition now, not technique, but I know we have these two like that. That looks exactly the same, but we'll make this into a little bit of a different grouping here by putting 3 here. Change the height of it a little bit. Change the spacing in between things. Maybe I made that one a little bit too similar. It's not too bad. Okay, change the height, like I said. And we'll put this one. How about this? So each one of these is And stamped out a little bit of a different height with each impression. Okay. Okay, so I think that looks okay so far. Like I said, it could change in appearance when it dries, though. Not necessarily a bad thing, again, but I don't know. With this one, I just don't know because I just haven't done this before. So this is as far as I've got now, and it's already kind of a good departure for an improved extension, maybe, more than a departure from my previous experiment, where you just couldn't see anything. Okay. Looks like that. Looks kind of a little bit busy in that sky area. Maybe I'll mute it down a little bit. This is looking a little bit busy up here. Maybe there's a little bit too much star texturing up there. And especially right there, there's my little blotchy areas, okay? So I'm going to come back in and we'll mute some of this right here. Actually, that looks pretty good now. There's like these two streaks up here instead of just everything being kind of splattered. I'm laughing because I'm thinking to myself, okay, you want to control your splatter. It sounds weird. Okay, I think that is an improvement there. Let's go like that. All right, there we go. Doing some little refinements. Yeah, I think that looks quite a bit better. You know, just kind of, it was a little bit too busy, but like I said, you can always kind of go back and forth a little bit, or a lot. Okay. Let's go with our leafless limbs. I might have to pull out the artillery on this one, meaning the larger leafless limbs, just for some variation. You know, we're getting a little bit similar here. So let's go with the largest of the leafless limbs, wherever it might be. Or did I already take it out? Is it on my desk? There you go. I'm looking in my organizer here. Quite a tall stamp. Taking the covering off my tack and peel. Boy, I really need to wash this large block off. I didn't realize that. This block is getting pretty dusty here. Look at this. You take this and you just rinse it off right over the sink, and you rub all this off, and you can feel all the, you know, that dust and everything come right off of it. And it just, I don't know, it seems to, you know, this is still really sticky. Look at this right here, even with all that dust on it. But it will kind of bring it back to practically like a brand new state, you know. Eventually it gets, you know, a little bit less tacky, but it shockingly stays really tacky over the years. I've even scrubbed it off with a scouring sponge and really scrubbed my tack and peel off at different times. All right, so I'm going to try some Starlight Silver Brilliance ink. Now, I'm saying this, you can use any type of pigment ink that you want. The Brilliance ink, any type of pigment ink will dry on matte cardstock, no problem. So I just happen to have, you know, different Brilliance inks here, okay? But use your whatever, color box, you know, Stampin' Up, whatever you have. All right, let's go fairly tall with this one. Let's see. Where do I want to go with this? I'll go like something like right here. I don't know if it's just a particularly tall tree in the foreground or if it's, you know, something, you know, just closer to it so it looks taller. I don't know. We'll see how it looks after it's been applied. I think that looks really good. It really stands out from the background. All right, and let's see here. Yeah, that silver doesn't look too bad. Oops. It almost just looks white to me, you know, but if I hold it at an angle, it should stand out a little bit more. I don't know, you can do all of your trees here, you know, the lighter ones in silver, it looks like. I think that'll look pretty cool. Just silver over, you know, black. Okay, we'll go for about 3 impressions. Boy, that silver really looks beautiful. This is one of my favorite inks right here, the Starlight Silver Brilliance. It just really stands out from the background really nicely. I mean, I say you can use whatever ones, but if you don't have a silver pad and, I don't know, you're looking to or pick one up, I don't know, I would really consider the silver. You can do whatever you want with the silver that you can do with other ones, but the silver can do things that the other ones can't, mainly stamping on things like, you know, foils, different types of surfaces, glossy cardstock, and it'll dry on those surfaces just no problem. And it's water-based, so it really cleans up off your stamps really nicely too. Don't lose this stuff for your tack and peel. Otherwise you have to, I don't know, get some Mylar or something like that to cover it. Okay, let's see. I wanted to go with a nice quote stamp here. I think this is it right here. If one way be better than another, that you may be sure is nature's way. Aristotle. I thought kind of an elongated quote up here would be kind of be cool. This is off one of the Scenic Sentiment sets. And I'll do it in silver just because the silver looks like it's standing out against the background. Better than white. You know, not that we want this to stand out, or it has to, but, you know, with text, I think it's a good idea to make it stand out. This isn't a super bold font either, so a little bit more visibility and dimension would probably serve it well. It's kind of weird. This silver ink is quite a bit different than the gold ink in terms of viscosity. The gold one really feels kind of like a real plasticky, rubbery type of ink when it dries, but this one just stays in solution much, I don't know, easier. Okay, let's see here. I should probably do a practice impression, anytime you're doing text, but this is just a little experiment here. Quick card, I guess you can say. There we have it. Okay. With a silver ink too. I mean, I think it'd be a good thing to, kind of matte off in silver. I think that'd be kind of cool. Changing my exposure a little bit, but I think this is pretty cool. I think we have a decent amount of dimension. That white right there is staying fairly white, so it's not too bad. This would be kind of cool in a folded card too, wouldn't it? Having this in the front and the back. I'd have spaced the trees out a little bit differently if I was doing it on a folded card, but I think this is a pretty good combination here. We go background, midground, and foreground. So we go black, white, and then silver for the most forward there. And you can see these leafless trees. I mean, we could have done this pine tree in silver and white to make it look forward and kind of more distant. But I added a decent amount of trees in there, so it's starting to look a little bit cluttered. But let's say if we weren't doing leafless limbs there, leafless pines there in the foreground, and maybe you do a couple of these trees in silver, and then you have the white ones, so those trees in that layer look both kind of closer and farther back, just, with the same image, but using different inks. But yeah, you can see that right there. See that tree right there kind of catching some of that light like that? Yeah, there you go. You can see the silver ones kind of showing up much more forward. And again, it just looks like white though, doesn't it? Like that on this type of paper. It's really until you see it kind of shimmering like that. Something like this up in the sky with a couple extra stars might be good. In fact, let's try something like that. Let's go with, let's do, why don't we go with Cassiopeia? Cassiopeia, I don't know. I don't know how exactly it goes. I just know it looks kind of like a W. I'll go something like that. Yeah, see this like in the sky, and then, add a few more kind of different size stars here and there. Kind of cluster them a little bit too. I think it makes it look a little bit more natural. Okay. Kind of that back and forth with the black and white pigment ink, I thought was, worked out pretty well. All right, so that should do it. Quick and easy, but pretty, I don't know, pretty visually, rich card like that. Look at that. You can barely see those black trees in the background, but you can really see those silver trees really stand out from the background. Didn't you go like that? You can see those background trees show up a little bit more. So, those trees in black back there, I think they contribute to the overall piece. Do they have to be back there? Probably not, but I don't know. It's kind of like that reverse impression back there. All in black just didn't work. Unless you wanted to go for something ultra subtle, where it's barely visible. You can do something like that. I'd imagine you can do things like embossing in white over the front of this too, or embossing in silver. Or you can go with those black trees back there and you can think of doing these trees in a different color, maybe gold or something like that, and gold embossed, maybe for the, the very foreground imagery. If you can do that, sometimes if you stamp in gold like that, that embossing powder is going to stick to everything, especially on matte paper. So I don't know. I think this just straight stamping, without any embossing, I think it stands out pretty good and gives us a reasonably varied. Look at that now without that light on it, the white stands out more than the silver. So that's kind of cool. A little bit of a added kind of a visual bonus here, like that. The silvers can get a little bit more grayish, and when you do this like this too, the white stands out like they're a little bit closer to us. Now they're farther back. All right, so silver, white, and black quick card. Could be a good card for a now Las Vegas Raiders fan, the football team. Silver and black. Good Christmas card for one of those fans of the team, I think. Let's see, let's get a little shimmer on this, maybe. About like so. All right. A fun little experiment. We'll have to think of some different applications for this going forward. And I don't know, makes for a pretty quick and easy card. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.